got this grease on my back. Carry it like I'm moving the. I told him the hunter, like he.
Hey everybody, it's the coach. You're tuned in to Sunday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago.
First opened way back in 1924, but renovated in 2002. There's a look inside venerable Soldier Field in Chicago. Tonight, we've got a great Sunday night matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. And he's able to get it across the 20, but not by much, as he's marked down at the 21-yard line. So here are the Bears now for their opening drive. They'll be led out by their 6'4" quarterback, the former #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
You enjoyed watching that game tape, didn't you?
Yeah,
Last week's game.
It was good. Four touchdowns, 1 pick.
Now, you were a little upset about the pick. I didn't know if you would play him this week or not if you were the head coach.
Hey, they got the win.
You got the win, so you're going to give him another chance?
I'm going to give him another shot.
All right. I think the ratio's pretty good. He'll try to eliminate the interception, but he wants to keep that hot streak going, throwing touchdown passes.
Now a play fake here on first down. And that is caught on the right sideline, but out of bounds, says the line judge. The throw took him a little too far. It's second down.
Defensively here, you're facing a top-5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high-powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself the best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
34 yards there and a first down. So the big play moves them all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. And they'll run it here. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Give him 3 on first down. It'll set up a 2nd and 7.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Jameis now going to run the option to the right. Now Jones. And brought down, but able to get it to their 30-yard line. The numbers for Jones last week, the hat trick +1, 4 trips to the end zone with his legs.
And, partner, you know how all the guys do when they do that little symbol now about eating, right? Keep feeding me, feeding me. They just kept feeding him, and next thing you know, he kept getting in the end zone.
Now Winston, flushed out right, drops it to Jones in the flat. And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. Call it a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll make it a 2nd down. And they're getting him involved early.
You feel like they saw something on tape, or they just have a sense with him because he's had a good week of practice or something in that area that they want him involved, just as you said. They want him to touch it either in the running game or the passing game, but they must like the matchups they're getting.
Now, meanwhile, here's a 2nd down throw that's knocked away and incomplete. They got to get to the 20 to keep the drive alive on 3rd down. Play fake. Winston. He's going to let it go deep for the end zone. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete.
Nice play there to force the incompletion. And to me, one thing's for sure. When you're the underdogs and you're playing on the road, you absolutely have to get takeaways. You've got to get the ball from them.
Yeah, win that turnover battle, going to be key. They didn't get one there, but you get the feeling they keep making plays like that, they might just get a few.
Yeah, once you get one, defensive teams think they come in bunches.
The Bears tried it on 4th down, unable to convert. And this defense holds firm here on the opening drive of the night. Well, trying to be bold on the opening drive of the game, but that effort, it proves futile.
How many times have we talked with coaches where they've talked about taking the emotion out of their decision-making? I think that opening drive, if he didn't have it in his head to go for it before, I think that keyed into it. They were doing so well, and he decided to really establish something there. They didn't get it. Now they've got to make sure that they don't lose their focus.
All right, quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level.
And he'll find some space up to about the 25. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And he's able to get it to the 33, good enough for a 1st down. 8 yards on the pickup there, and it moves the sticks.
We always talk about having to read defenses and how complicated that is. Well, this was an excellent read. Read the pressure and got rid of the football before it even got to him for a nice game.
And when they're blitzing like that, running back usually a good spot to go with a football?
Without a doubt, because he's right in your sight line or he's near you. So you're able to just get it to him easily. And once he gets in space, that's usually a good matchup for him.
On 2nd down, Williams. And hard running's going to get him over the 40 to the 42. Call it an 8-yard gain. Much better shape now on 3rd and just a yard.
I thought that was a good call. Passing situation on 2nd down. They hit him with the draw instead and pick up nice yardage.
Yeah, because the draw, they're thinking pass when they see that initially defensively, right?
Now, you know, in today's NFL, most of the time on 2nd and long, when it's a passing situation, pass rushers are on the field and they're only thinking one thing, get to the quarterback. And oftentimes you can bypass them with a running play. They tried their best to pick up that 3rd and 1, but their surge wasn't enough to counteract what came back at them from the defensive side, was it?
Offensive line, especially in the middle, looked like they were on skates a little bit when that one started.
So now we bring up 4th and inches. This will be a critical call.
21 yards. Well done on the return. And the Bears take over. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And on the last drive, they were in field goal range. They just opted not to kick it, didn't get it. How does that change the mentality this go around?
I don't think it changes much for the head coach because this is what he preaches all the time. Attack at all times in any spot on the field, and he likes touchdowns, not field goals. Now, your field goal kicker, you got to make sure you nurse him through and say, okay, don't worry about it. When we need you, you've got to be ready to go. And the team, of course, loves to see points on the board. So let's see if it changes a little bit if they're in the same spot again.
Yeah, we'll see what the decision is here if they get to that spot. Back to the ground, this time with Jones. Call it a gain of 7, and it gets him a new set of downs. A lot of running backs, a little bit of a disadvantage when you start talking MVP. Might not be the case this year. You think he's got a shot, don't you?
I do. I think he's got more than a shot. But what he's going to need here down the stretch this late in the season, he needs that big closing game, that game that we're all going to reflect on and go, oh, my goodness, did he put up a number, let's say 200-plus?
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. That's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the 1st quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be taken down at the 44-yard line. The improv act there, good for 9, and now they'll be looking at a 3rd and short, 3rd and 1. This is 3rd and 1. Very likely 4-down territory, even if they don't get it, though. Here's a carry now for Keith Marshall. And he's got this down to the 35. Call it a gain of 10, and they pick up the 1st. Well, one unit I know you want to watch is that offensive line. If they keep clearing holes like that, Could be a long night defensively.
No doubt about it, because when they are in sync, as we're seeing so far, when that continuity is there, and you can see that they're playing off of each other while controlling the defensive front linebackers, you're exactly right. It could be a very long night for the defense because someone's going to run for some big yardage.
A solid run on first down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Let's go.
They'll try to throw now. Winston. Over the middle, complete. It's Carter. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 22-yard line. Quick slant there. Gets him the first down. 6 yards on the play.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back.
Brandon Gaudin, Charles Davis back with you as it's Bears football here to begin quarter number 2. And they're on the move here. They've got it 1st and 10. To throw is Winston. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
It'll be a gain of 5 there as they move closer. It's 2nd and goal. They'll try and run it in with Jones. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. Ronald Jones taking it in from a yard out. And the Bears are in for 6. Elliott good on the extra point. And that makes the score 7-0. Elliott now to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Green Bay offense now about ready to take possession here and hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them that they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not pump the ball again.
And it's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And they're able to get this one across the 35. Right off the bat, it's a first down to start the drive, 12 yards.
I got a kick out of that one, partner. You and I talk often about trying to hide receivers in certain situations, but a guy of his size can't really hide him. But the tight end drag route, definitely an effective way to sneak him across the formation for an easy completion and a first down.
Good job there keeping him to a short gain. Of course, he's coming off a really terrific performance, reigning NFC Defensive Player of the Week.
And I know people get caught up in what you're the reigning Defensive Player of the Week. You must have made a bunch of spectacular plays. Like you mixed in a few of those, but most of the plays are just like we saw there. Keep them to short gains, make the fundamental tackle. Some of these play calls, I think they're a little conservative, but you know me, because it's easy to sit up in this booth, right, and make all the calls and think I'm going to be correct. But I would like to see them open things up, because otherwise this defense is going to gang up on the run and set them down.
Here's Rodgers on third down. And he checks this one down to Williams. Williams loses the football. And I think the Bears have recovered. They have. And in this very cold night air, how much harder, Charles, is it to hang on to that football?
It's a lot harder, and I know for the most part we think about a ball being slick when there's rain or snow, any type of moisture.
After review of the play,
on now is the Packers punter, as he'll punt it away for the second time. And this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. And it may just be the second quarter, but he's in his zone, well on his way to eclipsing that 100-yard mark.
And when a back has a game, as we're witnessing right now, his name's going to be in the books, but it's really a collective deal, isn't it? Because that means he's getting plenty of blocking, a lot of help from his teammates, but he's making the most of it.
Yeah, he's made the most of it to this point. That good for 22 and a first down. One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And not much there at all. Maybe a yard up to the 43.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Jameis to throw it. They're looking for his tight end on the corner. It's complete. And he's going to get this all the way down inside the 35. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Winston. Got his man complete over the middle. It's Burton. And they move this all the way down to the 9. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
There's a completion to the tight end, and I think that we're looking at something out of central casting, frankly.
Absolutely. I mean, size, the hands.
Speed. I mean, can flat out run. You put that whole package together, you light up the eyes of an offensive coordinator, don't you?
He's going to get it running right. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuck.
And that is caught. Touchdown, Bears. In for the score. And the Bears will extend their lead. Sometimes those tight ends are a mismatch. They found the mismatch there.
And that's exactly why you want to draw up those types of plays because coverage is just going to go to the natural guys, the guys that make the big plays on the outside. If you work your tight end into it, that's a tough one for a defense to handle.
Tough. They couldn't handle it. They worked out for 6. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. Already down 2 touchdowns here in the first half. This becomes a pretty important drive, doesn't it?
It certainly does, and a lot of the teams script plays. We know that, right? They have a script to start the ball game, and typically those scripts go between 12 and 24, 25 plays. Down 2 touchdowns early, probably not very deep into their script. I think that they'll stay with it. I don't think they'll abandon it just yet and try and generate some offense on this drive.
Anything. At least 3 points, get that 0 off the board. It was the linebacker Leonard Floyd on the stop.
And while there was no gain on that run, we do know coaches whose identity is rooted in taking it almost to the limit and then changing things up on you down the stretch. I think we're getting really close to that point in time, though, where the identity may have to go out the window, and they've got to go a little bit faster in order to try and win the game.
70th catch for him on the year, and like so many others, this goes for a first down.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys like we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
They go play action here on first down. Pressure, and he's taken down. A Bear sack.
And that's their first sack of this game, but how about last week? 6 sacks, great coverage downfield, which helped that pass rush. They are really working in sync right now.
2 minutes to play here in the first half. We're back to Soldier Field following this short break. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. On second down, here's Rodgers. Going to throw right side here, complete. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. He's got his first catch here before halftime, and it goes for a first down. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. And incomplete. An excellent play downfield. Should have been picked off, really. But second down instead.
Let's go, come on.
It's been my observation there's been a nice variety of play calling defensively. You and I often talk about an offense's ability to keep a defense off balance with what they're doing. I think the converse has been true in this game.
I think you're right. They seem to have gone off tendency quite a bit, but only the second quarter, a lot of time to change things. And he'll be brought down at the 45-yard line. Call it a gain of 3, and that's going to lead to a third down. On play action, now Rodgers. And it falls incomplete after almost being intercepted. A pick there would have been great. The good news for the defense now, it's fourth down.
I tell you, Brandon, this defense is playing with some confidence. Haven't allowed a point yet. Flying to the football. I'm telling you, it's almost 11 to the ball on every snap. Another nice job there to force an incompletion.
Now this offense trotting back onto the field. Let's turn our attention here to Ronald Jones. He's in his zone, second quarter, already closing in on a 100-yard game.
And that's the magic number for a running back. Anytime you get to that triple digits, that's all you're looking for. But he's got a chance to really exceed that in this one.
Yeah, he does. That's been the gold standard for a long time, hasn't it, that 100-yard mark?
It really has, and that never has to shift because it's in a game. It's a 1,000-yard mark. I'm wondering, since we've gone from 12 to 14 to 16 games, maybe we need to up that a little.
Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10. The first down throw for Winston. That's going to go as a loss of a full 8 yards. And it sets him back for second down. Now Jameis on second down. And oh, look at that, a diving catch. He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue. Now a first down carry by Jones. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. It's a pickup of 4, and it'll bring up second down. Winston now from the 50. Flush to his right, and he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. Now the Bears will use their third and final timeout as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. Winston now. Trying to get it to Robinson, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 46. And he may want to track down that football because that's interception number 1 on his career.
You're saying that's going into the trophy case?
I'd put it there.
Yeah, no doubt about it. That's when you ask the equipment guys to make sure they hold it for you after the game. But if you play in the back 7 on defense, that's part of your job, finding ways to take the ball away from the other team.
Throwing into traffic there, and that's complete. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout, as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. 3-19. Rodgers to throw on second down. And a quick throw here, that's complete. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with 14 seconds to go in this first half. Rodgers to throw on 3rd and 1. A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th. So they won't get a touchdown, but here's a chance to at least get 3 to end the first half. From the left hash, this from 34. And his kick is good. And they will get themselves on the board here at 14-3. So the 3 points here, they're still down, but they put somewhat of a dent into that lead going into the break.
Anything helps when you're trying to chip away at a lead, but they do know that they're going to need a little bit better effort in the second half.
And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Final play of the first half, barring a penalty, as they come up on 1st and 10. They'll start the drive with a carry by Jones. And he's going to be taken down here, as that will lead us to the end of the first half of play. And now, due to apparent time constraints, we fast forward to the beginning of the second half. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And they will not get a chance to return this one, as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now trotting out there, the Packers getting ready to go. They have the ball here for the inaugural drive of the second half. Pretty big deficit, though. We'll see what adjustments were made in that locker room.
And I never want to make something more important than it actually is, right? I don't want to create more hype than what is there. But this is I'm doing it, though. This is
into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Ronald Darby. First possession of the third quarter, an interception, so maybe a second-half tone setter.
Indeed, and not the tone they wanted to set. That's the equivalent of running out the wrong door and running into your pool instead of running out onto the field. A real dud for that one.
Has that happened to you before?
No, but I've heard stories about teams.
And he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about.
Illegal block in the back. Offense.
So erase the red zone score. They'll have to dial that one up again.
And you know how difficult it is to strike in the red zone because things are a little bit more condensed. You got to go back to their play chart and see if they can dial up another one.
After the penalty, it's Jones. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Give him 5 yards there, and it'll bring up second down. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award. I think he's locked in and wants to get it done a second time.
Now a second down throw for Winston. And Jones has it over the middle. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. On play action, Winston. Touchdown, Bears! Allen Robinson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Bears use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, the second half, no matter what. With those first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And last time wasn't pretty. One play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. They start the drive with Abdullah. And not a whole lot doing there as he'll get it up to about the 28-yard line. Making the stop that time, Bobby Wagner.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got just pin their ears back and get after him now.
Again, it's Abdullah. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. Just a couple on the ground there, and that's going to bring up 3rd and about 6.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
Here's Rodgers. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. They get only 4 that time as that leads us to a 4th down. A nice job of bringing that in, but why was he so close to the sideline there? They had all kinds of room in the flat.
A little bit of a lack of coordination between him and the quarterback, because both of them should have seen that room that was available, that space. Stop your route a little bit shorter, put it on him, and let him turn and get upfield.
They begin with a run by Davis. Look at the spin. And now off to the races, down the right side. Touchdown, Chicago. A big play there, 78 yards. And the Bears will add on to their lead. Well, a lot of things have to go right for an option pitch to be successful. Everything lined up there on the long run.
It does, because you have to make the proper read. It doesn't matter what guy you've decided is going to be read on the defensive front. You still have to execute it. If he comes to the quarterback, you saw there, pitch it out to the running back, and off he goes. A lot of teams don't like to run the option because they don't like having their quarterback hit.
Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games really starting to take enormous importance as they always do this time of year.
I like how you use fortnight.
Yeah, you're impressed.
Yeah, I am impressed. That means 2 weeks if I'm not mistaken, correct?
That does.
But how about exactly what you're talking about? Going down the stretch, how much importance is placed on these games. Look, everyone talks about every game's important. When you get to this time of year, maybe that importance gets quadruple. And that's where we are right now to see who can make their last run, their last push to get into the playoffs.
And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
From the gun on 3rd down, Rodgers. Losing 4 yards that time, and now it's 4th down. On now is the Packers punter, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. His first punt, 45 yards. This looks good as well. This is taken at the 23. So dangerous with a football in his hands. Call that a return of 38. And it'll be a short field for the Bears as they take over 1st and 10. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And coming off a one-play drive that was so deflating for the defense, what's their mentality? How do they rally here and stop this offense?
Well, hopefully there's some determination that sets in, because they weren't ready to go on the last one. Give all the credit to the offensive guys for getting it done, but to allow a run of that length, that's just not being prepared. So now, are they determined? Are they ready to read their keys and make the proper plays?
And we'll see how determined they are. On 2nd down, it's Jones. And for one of the first times tonight, he... He's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. The Bears on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. They'll run it now out of the gun. And they'll get this one to about the 20-yard line. Now hang on a moment here. Marshall's in some pain. Still down. And how might this affect him for the playoffs? We'll get a report when we come back. Winston now to throw on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
Well, someone's closing in on the league lead in sacks. He came into the game in the top 5. Now you add 2 more to his total.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Now they'll run it on the toss. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And this is going to be Packer football. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
The Bears on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This will be 3rd and forever. Winston now after the fumble recovery. Escaping the pressure right. And that is incomplete.
Let's face it, perfection is something we all chase, whether it's playing this game or whatever we do. Hard to attain, but that's what they were searching for as that pass goes incomplete.
And how about this? 4th and long, and they're going to go for it. From the shotgun, it's Winston. This is caught. And he doesn't quite make it, taking it within an eyelash. Dropped at the 1. Wow, 1st and goal, and defensively all they can do is shake their heads. Not only did they allow the conversion, but a big play as well. They'll try to punch it in with Davis. And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Chicago. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Bears use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And he certainly played a pivotal role with those 2 TDs and why they're up on the scoreboard right now.
Well, someone's all about winning, aren't they? Because he's not worried about the number. Sure, it's great to have 2 touchdowns. But the bottom line is what he's doing is contributing to their lead. He wants to continue to do so.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
They run it again with Williams. And he'll lose yardage here, going down back at the 28. It's a loss of 2, now 3rd down.
I like the strategy. Extra tight ends, extra beef. They want to run the football, but that means they probably want to run it inside. If you get strung out on the perimeter, you're in peril.
Yeah, we saw the result, negative yardage. Now Rodgers to throw on 3rd down. The left side throw complete to Adams. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a 1st down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They had the double-digit lead at halftime, and they have continued to roll. They're hard to stop right now.
I think what we're seeing is an example of a team that has it figured out in this ball game. And whatever the adjustments are the defense has made, hasn't slowed them, it hasn't phased them at all. They either anticipated them or they've been so far ahead that they just can't catch up.
Now it's just a search to add to the lead. 16 yards right off the bat and a first down.
A good run there off right tackle in an old-school NFL football. The right side, the offensive line, often known as the nasty side. The left side, usually the technical side. Kind of reminds me of the old Atlanta Falcons 2009-2010.
Back now at Soldier Field. And this is a blowout so far as we get set for the fourth quarter. A very one-sided affair. They keep it on the ground. This time it's Davis. And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3. Charles, you said earlier this defense is probably going to need to hold these guys right around 20 or under that if they were going to have a chance. It was evident pretty early on that wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, they left 20 behind a long time ago in this game, didn't they? It looks like they're headed towards a big, big number. But 20 was the threshold because that kept them in the ball game and kept the pressure off of their own offense.
A gain of 39 that time.
So what's the old expression that quarterbacks like to use when they decide to throw the football? I'm looking for either a touchdown or a check down. And he took the check down on that play, and it worked almost to perfection.
And able to get him down, but he does reach the 5. 11 more yards that go around, a first down as well.
Well, partner, Marvin, our #1 stats guy, just handed me a little card that says he has 97 yards on the ground today. You think he's going to get the ball again?
I think so. 3 away from that century mark. Got to have it.
Yeah, and I think what they're going to call is one of his favorite runs, whatever he feels comfortable with, and what the offensive line has executed well today to try and get him over 100 yards.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And the hole closes quickly here. He can fight only to about the 4. Only a yard that time. 2nd and goal.
That run didn't get very far, and I think when you're looking at his dimensions, he's a little bit on the smaller side. He's counting on the big guys up front to escort him in, and they couldn't create any kind of space for him, could they?
Yeah, didn't get the push they needed. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. He's going to get it running right. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bears. A great play there. His 9th touchdown of the season. And the Bears add on. So another score there. Often you talk about the 3 phases of the game. Defense, offense, special teams. It's been a clean sweep in this one, hasn't it?
It certainly has. They've been pretty dominant throughout this game. And privately, the head coach will add a 4th phase. That's the coaching. And he'll tell the ownership that as he tries to negotiate a new contract off of this win.
They are looking strong here in the 4th quarter. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete. Line of scrimmage, again the 25, 2nd and 10. They'll run it now out of the gun. Absolutely nobody fooled there. He's going nowhere fast as he's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1, and that's going to lead to a 3rd and 11.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass blocking. But you've got to help them get some confidence because you can't abandon the play calling right now.
18 yards the gain for number 18.
Some think that teams really won't throw a slant route unless you have a receiver that has a lot of stature to him. But sometimes the little guys, they get lost in there. People can't really locate them, and they run that quick cut on the slant, and oftentimes they can turn it into big plays.
Now a 1st down carry. It's Williams. And 3 yards there takes him to the 45.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. And he'll be brought down at the 48-yard line. It's an 8-yard pickup and leads to a new set of downs.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
False start, offense.
That's going to set him back 5 yards. A false start backs him up 5, 1st and 15. Following the penalty, Abdullah takes this to the 45. Broken tackle, bought him a little extra space. He wipes out the penalty yardage with a good run to get it back to 2nd and 7.
That's a strong pickup right there on 1st down. And as this drive goes on, we're seeing an offensive line and running game imposing its will.
They stay on the ground this time. It's Williams. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. Still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
Neutral zone infraction, defense.
And he got a little aggressive too early.
And he did, wanting that quick takeoff as the ball was snapped, but I think sometimes those big guys on offense, they're pretty cagey too, right? They make those little sudden moves or those little subtle moves that get you to jump.
Caught left side by Cobb. And this time not quite to the 30. It'll be down at the 31-yard line. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They tackle them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
Call it a gain of 4 there, so it sets up a big play here, 3rd and a yard.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short gain.
Rodgers going to try and throw on 3rd down. And he will find his man on the end route, complete. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. It's a gain of 13 for number 13, and it gives them a 1st down. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
319.
Rodgers now on 1st down. Looking left side, it's complete. He's got it. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. The completion good for 3, and it's 2nd down.
Well, if you do read man coverage, Brandon, the drag route's a pretty good one to run against it because you're running away from people on it.
Now Rodgers throwing on 2nd down. His pass caught at the 4. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. Rodgers to Cobb, good for a Green Bay 1st.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Rodgers to throw once more. To the sideline, and wow, what a catch there. He doesn't get a lot, but he was able to get the feet down complete. He'll get only 2 there, and it's 2nd and goal. Great footwork there, Charles, to dot the I, stay in bounds, get both feet in. He's probably thinking, though, man, I made a catch like that close to the end zone. I should have scored.
Yeah, there's always a regret when you're that close to the goal line.
And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big.
That's a whole lot of points still to be down. But congratulations, they're still fighting, and they scored another touchdown.
Like my old high school coach used to say, Charles, he said, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, and sometimes you wish you never had showed up.
Could have saved the gas money, the hotel, what have you, huh?
This is fielded a couple yards deep. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. The Bears offense making their way out as we give you a look at the playoff race in the NFC. Well, we do know, Charles, they will be in the playoffs. They currently sit at pole position number 1, but nothing's set in stone right now. They still have to earn that top spot.
And it makes me reflect back to preseason when you and I do our tours of camps. The prevailing message in each and every one of them was what? Win the division.
Win the division.
Win the division. You know you're in the playoffs. It means something. It means a home game. It means a number of other things, but winning the division is paramount. You're right. They won't step off the gas here.
Winston here to throw. Underneath to Davis. Give him 12 yards on that one. It earns him a fresh set of downs. And just in general, Charles, on a play like that, how tough is it for the defense to account for a running back essentially being a receiver downfield?
It's very difficult, especially if the running back has skills like a receiver, and you're aware of that before the game even begins. So throughout your practice session.
And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Now before the second down play, we'll get whistles and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. Got to assume this defense will be charging again here. It's 2nd and 15. Now they'll run it on the toss. Oh, and now he bowls him over. So he got free of 1 tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. And now maybe they want some extra time to talk about this 3rd and long play as we'll get a timeout. That'll leave them with just 1 remaining in this 4th quarter of play. The Bears on 3rd down, 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 10. Play action now. Winston. Oh, going deep here for Taylor. He's got it at the 15. And he will get into the end zone. It's another touchdown. This thing is ugly.
And to me, that touchdown allows you to start grinning widely on your sideline. I think they pretty much locked this one away.
Yeah, that's the clincher, the proverbial icing on the cake, if you will. Elliott good with a PAT, and that will extend this big lead. Elliott now to kick this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. They've lost this one. Their offense has struggled. Do they try to put together something here at the end just to take into next week?
Yeah, sometimes teams want to do that and coaches want to. I remember one time I was on a team and we were losing late in the game like this, and you knew it was lost. It was over, right? And the coach called a running play and pretty much said to everyone, I want to see something executed well before we get out of here. And that was the message to the team.
Just something to build on.
Just something to build on, get it done, and maybe we can look at that and say, we'll get better as we go forward.
And he'll be brought down shy of the 40 at the 38-yard line. And a timeout coming in. This will be their final one with 10 seconds remaining. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
319.
On 1st and 10, here's Rodgers. And he's going to drop this off to Williams, complete. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A big offensive explosion helped leading them to victory. And the defensive guys, they're just saying, hey, put those points up every week. We'll just keep winning.
They will gratefully accept them, won't they? It makes their job that much easier when they're scoring that many points. Allows them to play with a totally different style and a different flow.
So for the Bears, it's another win for them. And you wonder if they want a redo on that one loss as they sit now at 14-1. And they'll have another home date next week as the Cincinnati Bengals come to town.